So what is consciousness?
Yes, that's a nice question, because if people think that this Garden of Eden is real, iko happy?
See, because somewhere in...
Even if they say it is at Mesopotamia is... Because what people say Mesopotamia, and they say Mesopotamia is modern day Iraq. Sindio? It's modern day Iraq.
Yeah.
If it is modern day Iraq, the Bible says that when man was banished from the Garden of Eden, God guarded the Garden of Eden with a flaming sword and a cherubim to prevent humans from coming to the tree of life. So, where is that cherubim and flaming sword? When we look at the Garden of Eden, it says there are 4 rivers that come out of the Garden of Eden. Yes? The Garden of Eden represents, in human dimensions, represents our human brain. We now come to in the middle of the Garden of Eden is the tree of life, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That represents the pineal gland and the pituitary gland in the brain.
Because we are emotional beings and women.
So it's not about men and women, ideally. It's about divine masculinity and divine femininity. Yes. So Eve, when we talk about the serpent, that is what Paul calls Satan. It is what we refer to as ego. The ego.
Hey, pull up. So hell is not real.
Hell is not real. There's no hell. There's no hell. There's no hell. No, there's no hell. There's no hell.
Is there a devil then?
There's no hell. And there's Lucifer, but there's no Satan.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Rare View podcast.
Woo.
Yes, I am your host Rachel Anita, and
I am Mark Christian. Instagram business-minded #.
I think that tells you everything you need to know.
Business-minded #. Yes.
Hiyo ya pili na kusema
Ashtangi. Yes.
From
Ashtanga yoga. So it's derived from Ashtanga yoga. So it's Ashtangi. Yes.
So
practice Ashtanga. Proud vegan, by the way. I'm vegan, so I am compassionate towards animals.
Yes, so guys, tune in. Muone leo the spice I have for you guys.
Yes. Thank you.
So, reincarnation. Tell us about it. Umefika hapo aje?
Perfect. So, the thing, I also never used to believe in reincarnation.
Oh yeah.
Because I had been in a church background like Missouri,
I don't believe,
and everyone was like, we die and that's it.
Yeah.
You see?
And then you go to heaven.
When I studied the Bible and I kept studying, we go to Malachi chapter 4 verse 5 to 6, where Malachi prophesies that Elijah is going to return before the coming of the second of the Messiah. Yeah. He's going to return. And then now in Matthew 11 verse 14, Jesus, when he's talking about John the Baptist, says that this is Elijah who was said to come before the coming of the Messiah. So the prophecy of Malachi was fulfilled. Why would Jesus go ahead to tell the people that this is Elijah if these people never believed in reincarnation? Why would you utter some words, especially because if we say that the Jews did not believe in reincarnation, which Judaism actually believes in reincarnation?
Okay.
Yes, because in Judaism there's Kabbalah, and Kabbalah is the Kabbalists that they actually do believe in reincarnation. If the Jews didn't believe in reincarnation in that time, in those particular periods of time, then why did Jesus talk about in Matthew 11:14 saying that John the Baptist was who? Elijah, who was coming before the coming of the Messiah. Yes.
That means they're also waiting for
again now the
Elijah to come back.
The second thing that also backed it up was when Jesus was asked by the Pharisees and the Sadducees, so when will the kingdom of heaven come? And Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven, you will not see it. You will not see it coming there at the trumpets and yes, you will not see it. Rather, the kingdom of heaven is already here. It is within you.
Honestly, that part hata mimi najiulizanga nashindanga.
So now I'll explain to you what that means. Yes. So now I'll explain to you what it means, and I will also throw in aspects of quantum physics that we learned. Newton will bring in all of that so that you'll see even in biology, we'll bring it in biology so that you see how science has also shown that this is what is happening.
Okay.
See, so at that point, now that's why you ask yourself, Jesus said the kingdom is within.
Yes.
Again, also in prayer, in Mark chapter 9, verse I think 37, Jesus says that ask for something and believe that you have received it and it shall be yours.
Yes.
Yes? Power of the mind. So now we are going to talk about it in depth.
What you believe, you shall conceive.
Yes,
say it all the
exactly.
time.
As a man thinketh, so he becometh.
Yeah.
Yes. So those are the things
Class is in session, guys.
Yes.
Take notes. So what is consciousness?
Yes, that's a nice question because I always ask people just from our natural understanding. Yeah. If we take a metal, something that's metal and galvanized, and we put it outside in the rain and air, it will develop rust.
Yeah.
But if you are rained on, you will not develop rust. At the same time, if you remember when we were starting adolescence, all of us start at different points.
Yes.
So what is that thing that triggers
that
you to start adolescence at this age, this one at this age, this one at this age, this one at this age? But all of us as humans do start adolescence.
At some point.
So that is what we call consciousness. Yes. So every object, everything that is inanimate, everything that is animated, we all have consciousness in us. So that is...
It's more of a state of being aware. That is when...
Now that is that. Now it's that. It's the state of being aware. It is that spark. It's a divine spark in you. And that is God. That is what we call... So God, whenever we talk about God, G-O-D, that is the name we use to define what is known as universal consciousness. So the supreme, what people now talk about in other spheres as the oversoul. So the supreme. And that is why in every single object, even in this, yes, even in this, even in the vase, even in this, they're not, even if we say they're that's why we say they're inanimate.
Yes.
They cannot move, but they do have consciousness in them.
This thing has consciousness.
Yes, because if you put it somewhere, if you put it under certain pressures, even physics, it will change.
Yeah.
You see, that's why when you use certain cleaners to clean it, it changes. So it's telling it has consciousness in it.
It's
so
not just a reaction, a chemical reaction. Okay,
that
so
chemical reaction, yes,
reaction.
that awareness. How does it come to have that chemical reaction?
Okay.
The atoms, those atoms. Yeah. So the aspect of the atom itself, the atom. That atom is the fusion of the atoms to create certain objects or something. Even the DNA strands, that is consciousness. So that aspect that brings them together. And in unique combinations.
Yeah.
So if you remember mathematics, combinations and permutations. So those things, Venn diagram, those ones. Yes. So all those things, they're the ones that shows you that. So when we talk about creation, creation is what we talk about the expansion of consciousness. So that means that every single thing, even you yourself who is conscious, the thing that differentiates us in terms of our consciousness is there are different states of consciousness among everything. You see? So even plants have consciousness, animals have consciousness, humans have consciousness. So even plants have consciousness, humans have consciousness, animals have consciousness. Our consciousness for humans is higher than animals.
Okay, and there are beings that are higher than us.
Yes, and there's also beings that are higher than us.
And in humanity, do you have like different levels in everyone?
So you can see like consciousness, that's why we talk about the path to enlightenment. So when people are saying enlightened, it now means you are now tapping into higher realms of consciousness.
Okay.
Yes. So now that brings us even to the Bible, the story of the Garden of Eden. So the Garden of Eden, if people think that this Garden of Eden is real, iko happy?
See, because somewhere in
even if they say it is at Mesopotamia, is because what people say Mesopotamia, and they say Mesopotamia is modern day Iraq. Sindio? It's modern day Iraq.
Yeah.
If it is modern day Iraq, the Bible says that when man was banished from the Garden of Eden, God guarded the Garden of Eden with a flaming sword and a cherubim to prevent humans from coming to the tree of life. So where are those where is that cherubim and flaming sword? Wako wapi? Jew, if they were actually there in person, we would have already known them.
Things are like it's not.
That's now where we come from. That there it is metaphorical.
It's not like physical.
Yes. What it meant was, when we look at the Garden of Eden, it says there are 4 rivers that come out of the Garden of Eden. Yes? Those 4, the Garden of Eden represents, in human dimensions, represents our human brain. So, the human brain itself.
So everyone has that Garden of
the
Eden
human brain has
head.
4 ventricles that cerebrospinal fluid comes into. So those are the 4 rivers in the Garden of Eden.
Where? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now we continue the Garden of Eden. Sindio? We now come to in the middle of the Garden of Eden is the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah,
that represents the pineal gland and the pituitary gland in the brain.
Okay.
Yes, and that in chakras, when we talk about the 7 chakras, the chakra system, that is the Ajna chakra and the Sahasrara chakra. So that is crown chakra and third eye.
I'm actually
chakra.
clueless. I'm learning.
Yes, so she's also learning. She's also learning.
So clueless.
Yes. So that is what it represents.
Okay.
You see. So, and I always ask people the next question. Why was Eve the one who was tempted in the Garden of Eden by the serpent and not Adam?
Because we are emotional beings and women.
So it's not about men and women, ideally. It's about divine masculinity and divine femininity. Yes. So Eve, when we talk about the serpent, that is what Paul calls Satan, it is what we refer to as ego.
The ego.
Yes. So what is ego? Ego is the mind-made reality of who you are, but is not who you are. So it is the you who has been conditioned by the society and by whatever people have said you are, but is not you. Let me give you an example. Your ID is that you're Anita Rachel.
Yes.
You're female. Yes. You're Kenyan. Yeah. You're this. So that is your identity as Anita.
Yeah.
Now, you find that you'll come and say, I am plus size, I am dark, I am this. But what thought do you give to those things? That thought that you give to your identity is now what we call your ego. So you might, in your mind, you might say, I am plus size, I'm not as beautiful as a petite.
Yeah. Yeah, then you convince yourself that.
So now you will find even it will manifest in your reactions to things. So you might see a petite girl on Instagram and you'll be like, I'm not even as pretty as that.
This one,
You see, I'm not even as pretty as that.
Yeah.
Or if someone tells you now you're plus size, you react.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So that is your ego. Yes. And
the ego is more conditioned.
Yes.
The one who forms,
so the ego, the reason the ego has to be there is the ego is for you to survive on this earth.
On this earth, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So it's a survival mode mechanism.
Okay.
So it's supposed to protect you to survive.
Okay.
But you see, you cannot be in survival mode your whole life. You have to let it go.
At some point.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, so you can't be in survival mode your whole life. So that ego is what makes you see. So when we talk about the serpent tempting Eve, divine femininity is what we refer to as our thoughts, our emotions, our consciousness. The first states of consciousness, yes? Then divine masculinity is our actions, our logic, our processes.
So everyone has this in them.
Yes, that is all of us. Yin yang. Do you see that sign for yin yang from Chinese medicine? That is a depiction of what we are. So that's why even in biology, you need an ovum and a sperm. Even if you're a girl, your chromosome XX. If you're a male, your chromosome XY. You see. So every one of us has divine masculinity and divine femininity inside us.
Wow. Okay.
Yin yang. So that story of Garden of Eden, that's why I said Eve represents divine femininity. Our thoughts, our emotions, our first states of consciousness, how we perceive things, basically.
Okay.
Yes. And Adam represents divine masculinity, how we action things, how we do things, what we actually do physically. So it shows you that when ego comes and ego corrupts, it will corrupt the thought process, the emotional process, and the consciousness first. And when it does that, the logic and the actions will automatically follow suit. That's why when Eve brought the fruit to Adam, here, eat, Adam didn't even question. He just ate.
Yay.
You see?
Where? Okay.
And that's what explains what happened even with Shakahola. You see? Because the corruption, the ego, the aspect of ego crept in. Because these people came, now the ego came in and said, if you fast longer, you will see Jesus faster.
And the guy
yes, you see. So now he tells people, you need to fast and you will see Jesus. Now all the people, how it registers in the egoistic mind is ego first starts to register through comparison. So it's like other Christians are praying, but they're not seeing Jesus. We will be the ones who will see Jesus. You see, so that is the ego side.
Okay.
So what does it do? It corrupts the thought process. It corrupts the mind, the emotions. Now they have this zeal to fast.
Yeah.
So now they fast, and even when you're hungry, you're motivating yourself. I'm going to see Jesus. So now he's here. It's almost. I just need to go a bit longer, guys. I'm almost at the finish line. I've run the race. I'm finishing the race, Paul. My God, that man.
Well, you don't like Paul, do you?
My Lord, he's on that's why people are like this. That's why Christians
really
are
don't
like this. No, because he deviated away completely from the teachings of Jesus, Yeshua. He deviated completely away.
But I felt like he's the one who brought more people to Christ.
No, he didn't bring more people to Christ. He was actually, if you actually now study him, why don't we have works of Peter the disciple, the other disciples of Jesus, and they're there? It's not that they're not there. Why are they not there? This is why they put Paul. Control. It's controlling people. So
the Romans put Paul.
They put Paul as the star of the New Testament because now, who told you that Peter was not making disciples in the world?
Oh, yeah.
Who told you that Bartholomew was not making disciples in the world? They were. Thomas was doing it. Why do you think Thomas is referred to in the Bible as doubting Thomas? Do you know there's a gospel book that talks about the lost gospel of Thomas?
Really?
And in that book, it's 114 sayings of Jesus. And that was where Jesus expounded on what he meant by saying the kingdom is within you. Because he says in that book that even under a rock, he's there. That you yourself, God is you.
Yeah.
And they knew if they tell every single Christian that God is you, because that goes exactly how the Hindus believe, that goes exactly how Buddhists believe, and those are the oldest religions, that God is within you, so you are God, or you have God. That would be sacrilegious, blasphemous. We're blaspheming.
Again, guys, we are learning.
Yes.
And I'm learning.
And that's why they introduced the concept of hell, so that you can be scared.
Hey, pull up. So hell is not real.
Hell is not real. There's no hell. There's no hell. There's no hell. No, there's no hell. There's no hell.
Is there a devil then?
There's no hell, and there's Lucifer, but there's no Satan.
What's the difference between Lucifer and Satan?
Lucifer.
Are they not the same person?
No, Lucifer, what happened with Lucifer? Lucifer just when he's a being that's up there, Lucifer just saw and he desired what earth has. You see, that's why you see in the other planes, like in the different astral planes, this concept of time does not exist. It doesn't exist because we have parallel worlds, we have universes and galaxies we don't even know about. So we are not like the only stars of this show. Like we are just a small part of universe. Just think, you see the way we ourselves, you can have a dream and it's so vivid. It's so rich. Like it even has a character all the way to end. Imagine that's how God is with us now. So this is an expansion of his consciousness. And he's expanding so that he can learn more about himself.
Okay. So I need to ask you something. What do you believe in?
Yes, that's a beautiful question. So now I usually say I don't have a religion. I'm religionless. So I'm not an atheist. I'm not atheist. The thing is, being an atheist means you don't believe in God. Like you just think that, things happen. No, but that divine spark, that thing of universal consciousness that is what God is. So God is not a being seated on a throne with eyes, like the Revelation says, with eyes around his body, like a lion, and you can't see him. God is an energy, a bright energy that you cannot see even with your naked eye like this. You can't look into his presence like this. He's that bright and consuming. He's an energy. And he's a frequency, a very vast frequency. So you see the way light, you see even what forms white light is a blending of multiple colors, 7 colors. So even number 7, that's how we talk about the 7 chakras. The 7 chakra systems, which now are what we work with to enlighten. You see?
Okay.
People will say it's demonic because of Kundalini, and they say Kundalini yoga is demonic. That is what? Yeah, so now we'll talk about it. I'll talk about it in depth.
So you do believe in God?
Yes,
God
is there.
Exists.
Yes. It is actually not he, it's an it. It doesn't have a gender. There's no gender to God.
You're putting me in trouble now.
No, there's no gender. There's no gender. The reason is because if you want to see it in terms of physics, Newton actually said it in physics that you cannot create or destroy energy. You can only transform it from one form to another.
Okay.
Yes. So that energy that is God, that is the supreme existence of who we are. And all of us have a fractal of that energy. For those who don't know, I'm an entrepreneur and I also do day trading, you see. And in day trading, we say price is fractal. And when we say price is fractal, it means that whatever happens on a big time frame happens exactly the same way on a small time frame. Exactly the same way. So it means whatever you're seeing on earth, you see the way human beings are now creating AI, and AI is doing some of the things that we're doing. How have humans been able to do that? It's because we are a fractal of that universal consciousness. Every single thing that is here is a fractal of that universal consciousness. So everything that God does, we do it, albeit on a smaller scale. It's exactly the same thing.
And that is spiritual awakening with Mark, the business-minded
Ashtagi.
I think you should write a book. I would read it. That would be so delicious to go through. And then you're there, of course, everyone is free to have their own views and opinions, but back them up. Mona vile ame back them up.
I can back them up.
Back it up.
Yes. Please. And please, if you're going to quote the Bible, please quote the Bible after you've read all the 88 books. Sawa? Okay? Before, don't quote for us. And if you're going to quote for us, works for Paul. Please. If you're going to talk about anything from Acts of the Apostles going down, please. Just don't. Sawa? Don't.
Thank you, guys. That's our time today. May you continue to thrive in your consciousness. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. And you can always follow him on social media. He's always dropping those gems. Okay?
Yes.
Sawa. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Guys, bye.